quite good, Noah. On that very first prep, what did it feel like to prep this staccato versus when you prepped marcato?
Scarier.
Yeah, why?
I mean, if I were to like compare it to like violin when I prep a piano and I'm coming in with a piano on violin, it's just like it's almost like more thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's this thing in conducting called impulsive will, and I hate that term because it's very like new agey sounding, right? Yeah, it's like the force, right? I mean, there's some truth to it, right? Like sometimes the thing you tell a student conductor is, I just need you to make them play together, right? But I think what that really is a clear expectation of what's going to happen from the group, okay? The problem with conducting staccato is you have less of your body involved, and so it's much harder in an abstract sense to make them play, right? When the group starts to fall apart, I mean, what's your inclination? You conduct larger. And that's not necessarily wrong. But if you really have a crystal clear picture of then that motion can get smaller. If you don't have a crystal clear picture, then your prep for staccato just becomes this. And it's like you're marking, right? So right before you start, as clear as you possibly can, audiate in your head like what that's going to sound like in the group, and then listen for it in the prep, or on the prep. Make sure I'm pretty good. Start looking at them. The score won't make any sound. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Now prep with your hands, not with the rest of your body. Yeah, well done, Noah. Good, very nice. Next. Okay, Jimmy.
I'm also going to do.
There's a funny thing I've noticed in my own conducting, and that is when I find something that I'm like, boy, I'm really not sure what is going to work. You know, like however I conduct, am I in 2 or am I in 4? Do I show a cutoff? Do I not show a cutoff? Whatever circumstance, I'm not sure what's going to work here. And whenever I approach a passage as, let's see what happens here, almost always nothing. It just doesn't work, right? So if my question is, I wonder how this will work, the answer is, it won't, right? So you always have to have that, like, this is what I'm expecting. Now, you can be wrong. But you having an expectation of being wrong is different than no expectation at all. Yeah. Okay. Good. Mahler people messed up the baton order, so they are on their way. They're just a little bit more delayed than they were even last week. Showing staccato is much easier with a baton. So I'm glad you used it. The first prep, again, I don't feel like you prepped as though you were expecting them to breathe. Okay, so just prep that a few times at the beginning. Yeah, okay. Okay. So a prep is a full beat, right? We're on 4, 1. Okay. The entire beat has to encompass all parts of the beat. That means in order to show a full beat, you need to have a rebound, a secondary point, a descent, and then an ictus. I'm not really seeing a rebound before they play, right? So you have to imagine that like the ball is bouncing. Imagine a video of a ball bouncing. And then right when the ball hits the ground, you pause. And then you push play. What's going to happen? You're actually going to get like an impulse up. It's not just, right? So that's what I'm seeing from you. That's called marking.
Okay.
Marking is where you show a beat without an impulse to breathe. Okay? But what you want is not that, but that. There's this little yeah, one more time. Good. Yep, good. Try one last time. Try to conduct lighter. It almost looks like your wrists are frozen.
Okay.
Okay, see how light you can get. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, good, Jimmy. Very nice. If you're specific about where to play, then they need a lot less from you than it feels like. Play for me. Start at the beginning. Good, do it again. Okay. Right? If you can really sort of zero in what you're doing, what we're doing almost all the time is bringing the ensemble's focus to one thing or the other. That's also how you shape phrases and how you affect balance too. Just little things like listen to the cellos, and everybody listens to the cellos. Okay? Same thing with this staccato. They don't need a big impulse to play. You just have to listen for the breath and expect it to play. Okay? All right. Who's next?
I can go.
All right. Emma. Which one are you going to do, Emma?
I'll try to do this.
Okay. People playing the soprano line, check rhythm, please. Remember, we're in 4. This will be conducted in 4. So something like 30-second notes will do the like 16th notes, right? Yeah. So, okay. That's why I said check rhythms. I don't get much sense of the rebound from you. Yeah. Right. And you need to keep the subdivision going in your head the whole time. before they played, I think that's part of what caused the confusion.
Okay.
Do that in your own head. Yes. Good. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Try it one more time. Try it one more time. Yeah, that's much better. Yep. So the
I don't know if this is something that I'm doing
mhm.
or if it's just my wrists, but they're like locking up
Yep.
when I'm like going out.
Say that
Mostly
again.
my right one.
Yeah, say that again.
Like when I'm coming out,
Uh-huh.
it's like locking
Interesting.
in place. So I don't know if that's a.
Okay. Yep. So what it might be, everybody, just where from where you're seated, come up in your like basic position. Yeah. Right. Okay. So the wrists should be neutral and relaxed, and there should be one line from like your elbow right out your fingertips. What you often see is this, where it's this little turn here, so that your energy kind of goes out like the tip of your thumb. It's not uncomfortable to do that, but to then go out, it's a lot of extra tension. So if you find yourself doing this, right, if you're conducting like this, then float your elbows and bring the tips of your fingers in, so that your fingertips are almost pointing to like a spot in line with your sternum, right here. Maybe that'll help. Just try that. 1, 2, 3. What does that feel like?
Still doing it on this side. It might just be my wrist, but.
Yeah. You come up in your basic position again. Uh-huh. Turn your your right wrist in more towards the center. There you go. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Am I just coming out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Mhm. 1, 2, 3.
Still did it a little bit.
Try it. Instead of. Don't the rest of you do this, but you try it more of an up and down motion than an out motion. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try for all the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah. Now, when you come out, in order to make 3 a little bit more visible, start to engage the rest of your arms a little bit more. So move a little more toward the marcato. Is that locking still?
No.
Good. Try it that way. Try it that way. Yep. Yeah, that feel better?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What we're doing now, this version of staccato, is an extreme example. There are times when it's really useful, but you'll rarely be using something that's such a pure staccato you'll never involve the arms. So I think this won't end up being a big deal for you.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Next. Okay, Josh. Jordan, Jesus. Why do I think your name is Josh? I know your name isn't Josh. Jordan, which one are you going to do? Okay. instead of playing it on a marimba, you're playing it on a triangle. So imagine you have a triangle beater, not a marimba mallet. Yeah, good. Let's do it one more time. Do it again. Very nice. Good. Now show the breath. Don't take the breath. I mean, do take a breath, but we can hear the breath. Okay, show that to me. Yeah, one more time. One more time. Yeah. So what I want you to get used to is to not rely on an aural breath. Right. So show that breath that we can hear. That idea is exactly right, but put that into a visual version as opposed to an oral version. Okay. Yep, one more time. Okay. And now that breath you were taking before, listen for them to take it. When you show the prep that way, you also move less in your body, and it becomes clearer. Yeah. Good. Bravo. Stephen asks where all the stands went. You can tell him some guy named Josh broke them. Who's next? I will start to shuffle. Okay.
I'll do the Beethoven.
Not bad. People playing the tenor line, B flats. Yeah. So Allison, that beginning should have worked, but it just kind of didn't. You know, I got the feeling from you that it was let's see what happens, as opposed to really knowing what you want to hear. So try it one more time. Hear the sound of this group in your head before you start. Good. Yep. Good. One more time. Let's have everybody play the tenor part. Good. Good. Listen for how they breathe to play. Ah, okay. Yep, that was more people were playing. Now listen for their breath to make them play together. Very nice. In parts. In parts. That same breath, but in parts. Good, Allison. Nice. As you all think about tempo for any given piece, I'd like you to start thinking about tempo as not just say a number, 88. But is it a tempo that is sort of in place, right? Everything is right in the middle of the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Is it a tempo that's on the back side of the beat? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Or is it a tempo that's a little bit more on the front of the beat? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Right? So Allison, I think yours may have been a little bit on the front edge of the beat, which is hard to play these rhythms. You know, when you're front of the beat like that. All right. Good. Who's next? All right.
I'll do Mountain King.
Class is massive. There's so many of them.
Oh, is this your music? I was like, oh, that's already yeah. Okay. Ready?
Yeah, really good. The prep is really good, and the staccato is working really, really well. What would you say the mood of this piece is?
Like mysterious or sneaking around. That's what it kind of sounds like.
Absolutely. Mysterious and sneaking around. Yeah. How do you get mysterious? So that's the musical concept, right? What do we have to do technically to get mysterious and sneaking around? Like if all you were able to say to your players was longer, shorter, higher, lower, faster, louder, softer, slower, right? If that was the only words you could use, what would you have them change to get sneakier?
Probably maybe shorter and softer.
Great, so conduct that.
Okay.
Stay short, stay short. Yes. Did that feel different to you?
Yeah, it did. It was, yeah, it's like it felt like less arm movement. I wanted to get bigger, but yeah, and then because I felt myself getting bigger when I was doing it.
Yep. And then did you hear a difference in the group?
Yeah, especially in like the beginning. It was-
Totally.
Yeah.
Well done. Good. There is something about this movement where is one thing, but is very different. You know, one's kind of like there's like the light, sunshiny surface dweller version, and then there's the dark subterranean dweller version. Yeah. Next, time for the two more. Faye, why don't you do Beethoven? philosophical question for everybody. Is it possible for the conductor to rush or drag?
Yes.
Yes, but why is it possible? Isn't everybody supposed to watch the conductor? Yeah, definitely. And also, when you have there becomes a point where it's wrong, right? You're rushing a little bit, right? Keep the dia, the dia, the dia. Think about the speed at which you come away from the beat as being, how should I say this? Think of the speed at which you go up being the same as the speed at which you go down. It's not actually what you're doing, but think of that. Good. Yep. Okay, you're getting a little bit like this. Right. Foot here. I'm trying to think of how to say this. I have a very vague notion of what I want to say, but don't know how to put it into words. Like this, the spot where the beat happens. Let me just play any note in a D flat major chord for me. Play one note short. One note short. Yep. Right. Now, can you think of that note happening? Okay. Think of that note happening at the moment when you start to come up. So it's not bop, bop, but it's yep, bop, 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 bop. Try that. With the extra. Good. Yep. Good. That's much better. Now, Faye, every note, because we're short, what they're going to do is they have to release every note. So you have to release every note. So show the release, folks, will be the moment when you come away from the plane, right? Yep. That's sort of how you show a release, as opposed to. That's why I said, Selena, hold on to that at the beginning of the class, as opposed to this, which would be more connected. But release. Tips of the fingers. Yeah, you rush a little bit at beat 3 and beat 4. Okay, but otherwise good. Brava. Well done. Last one. One more.
I'll go.
Okay. Same one. Hunter, are you music guy or are you performance?
Performance.
Okay. Yeah, Hunter, you actually prepped a quarter note and then conducted 8 notes. So you went like this. Right? Bum, 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 bum. So show that first prep. And the beat you want to. That's something that you can do rarely. Good. And give that moment of stillness. You're still catching us off guard. to sing tut 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 tut, how would you breathe to sing that?
Yeah, any more time to breathe.
I don't think you need more time. I think it's got to be a breathe in the style you're going to sing, right? So you're kind of going tut 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 tut, and it really is tut 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 tut. So breathe with the same sharpness as you're going to sing. Yes. That's way better. Way better. Good, bravo.